afternoon. I would like to start the meeting on October 1st, 2025 at 6:04 p.m. Roll call.
Chair Hamadi,
Here.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Tran,
Here.
Commissioner Wilmer.
Here.
You have a quorum with one absent, Commissioner Anderson.
Okay, please join me in saluting the flag. Raise your hand over your heart. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Any report from the Planning Commission? None. Ex parte communication?
Sorry, we do have.
We do have, okay.
Yes, we do have.
There's a late communications memo for agenda item 8.1 for the Commission's consideration. The memo reflects corrections to the draft ordinance. The memo has been presented to all of you, posted online for the public, as well as outside in the front lobby. Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you. We'll go to number 4, ex parte communication. Anything to reveal? None. Number 5 is none. We're going to jump to the oral communication. This is the time of the meeting that members of the public may address the Planning Commission on matters of public interest which pertain to the city and are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Planning Commission. Members of the public wishing to address public hearing items shall do so at the time of the public hearing unless extended by a majority vote of the Planning Commission. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. To address the Planning Commission, please complete a blue request to speak form that is provided at the entrance to these council chambers and submit the form to the Planning Commission clerk. When your name is called, please step to the podium at that time and state your name and city of residence for the record. We're going to open the oral communication.
Chair, we have one speaker, Terry Raines.
Hello, the minutes presented tonight do not fully reflect what transpired during the last meeting, specifically my comments and the related discussions during both public hearings. You'll recall I provided copies of my typed comments to staff, the mayor, attorney president, and you commissioners for reference. When those 2 items were presented to City Council on September 24th, both staff reports stated staff made several edits to the code text language, which was presented to the Planning Commission to correct typographical errors and provide consistent numerical and statutory references. These changes, not previously shown to the Commission, are shown in red in the proposed ordinance. These changes do not materially affect the proposed ordinance. I disagreed and commented accordingly. Those changes in red came from me, but most were not made. I spent a considerable amount of time reviewing the codes for both hearings and identified 40+ errors, several of which were material, citing wrong statutes, wrong language, and wrong interpretation of state law. I left your meeting frustrated. A few days later, I sent a detailed email to city leadership and city council and provided a written transcript of the discussions from your meeting and a dumbed-down list of the 40+ errors. I explained that even when Chair Hamadi repeatedly asked staff and the attorney to address my concerns, they seemed more fixated on disparaging and discrediting me rather than responding to your chair about their many mistakes. When you have my written testimony in front of you, perhaps ask about each concern raised one by one if you're so moved, so they have to respond. For one, Ken responded that no ban for floodlights as long as no light trespass, but the code literally still says ban. None of the material errors were even acknowledged. Apparently, Jones and Mayer attorneys who reviewed the documents opined that citing wrong statutes, codes, wrong words, and incorrect interpretation of state law are all okay to put in the municipal code, aka law, as long as nobody notices. One big problem is not having an attorney present at every Planning Commission meeting who actually reviewed the proposed legal documents on your agendas and is fully prepared to answer the legal questions posed by commissioners. I mean, who from Jones and Mayer doesn't know that a short-term rental is less than 31 consecutive days, not 30 days? This entire exercise to ensure our municipal code complies with state law, yet the remaining errors conflict with state law. I received no response to that email. A few minor changes were made to the city council ordinance, but most were not. Their solution to the wrong statute citations? Delete them all. No, thank you, Terry, for bringing these to our attention. No, we will make the changes to the ordinance. Nothing, not a zilch. I think of myself as a community partner with the city, albeit an unpaid, undervalued, and unappreciated one. Do better, Westminster. Former Vice Chair Tony Bowie, as you can see, resigned this commission and the Oversight Committee only after an item was placed on 2 city council agendas to remove him. The rest of you, take notice. Shape up or ship out. Let's hope he's replaced with a quality commissioner such as Laura Rose. And you need to appoint a new vice chair. It should have been on the agenda maybe to do that, but it isn't. And also Mr. Tran needs to have a regular chair so we can actually see his face. Thank you.
Any other speakers?
Chair, there are no further speakers.
Okay. Before we close the oral communication, I'm going to ask Ken to respond to her about the corrections. Because the attorney that's here now, it's not the same attorney we had last time.
Correct, but she is our attorney going forward. So she will
But
be,
she doesn't know about the situation, what happened. You know.
she does actually know about the situation
Okay.
because she was the attorney that looked over our ADU ordinance
Okay.
in the first place.
Okay.
To respond between planning commission and city council, we had a third attorney go over both ordinances, fresh set of eyes, and make sure nothing was missed. They
Okay.
came back that the errors that were brought forth were not errors, that the ordinance as seen was fine. There were some grammatical cleanups. There was nothing substantial that affected the ordinance, and that most of the perceived errors in the code were not errors. And so we had 2 different attorneys review the ordinance and find it met all state laws and it was crafted the right way.
Okay, thank you for answering. We can close the oral communication. Approval of minutes. We have minutes on September the 3rd, 2025, September 17, 2025. I move approval on approval of minutes. Were you there?
No. I'll second.
Roll call.
We have a motion made by Chair Hamadi, seconded by Commissioner Wolbert, to approve the regular meeting minutes of September 3rd, 2025, and September 17th, 2025. I'll go ahead and call roll. Commissioner Anderson? Commissioner Tran?
Here.
Commissioner Wolbert?
Yes.
Chair Hamadi?
Yes. Good, number 8, public hearing.
Motion carried, 3-0.
Anyone wishing to speak on an open public hearing should complete a blue request to speak form that is provided at the entrance of the council chambers and submit the form to the Planning Commission clerk. When your name is called, please step to the podium and state your name, city of residence for the record. Each attendee will have 3 minutes to comment on each public hearing item. The applicant or their designee will have 12 minutes to speak and will also be provided a 5 minutes rebuttal. With the exception of the applicant or designee, all attendees may only speak once. The Planning Commission may use its discretion to allow a speaker to extend the allotted time or may ask a speaker to return to answer additional questions. We have case number 8.1, 2024-0005. Stephanie?
Good evening, Chair Hamade and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Stephanie Tomaino, contract planner on behalf of the Community Development Department. Let's give them a moment just to get the PowerPoint slide up. Okay, earlier this year, the City Council adopted zoning text amendments to establish new signage regulations for billboards. The ordinance was adopted following several years of strategic planning discussions held with the City Council. Billboards have been an existing sign type allowed in the city for many years. However, the conditional use permit application being presented tonight would be the first billboard proposed under the new ordinance. To clarify, billboards are distinguished from on-premise signage. The billboard that's proposed on this commercial parcel is located adjacent to the Westminster Boulevard Freeway exit, which is generally shown by that yellow arrow. Billboards typically advertise businesses that are located off-site. For example, a billboard in this particular location could advertise Curl Fitness, even though it's located much further down Westminster Boulevard. In contrast, on-premise signs advertise tenants that are on the same parcel. So in this image below, you see that for-lease pole sign, which is existing, and it was previously used to identify the restaurant formerly occupying the site. So there is a distinction between billboards versus on-premise signage. So here's another aerial image of the property. It is located next to In-N-Out and Motel 6. The parcel does not have direct access to the road. Instead, it shares access via easements with the surrounding properties. There are driveways located here which provide access to all three properties. There's a range of land uses surrounding the project site, including offices, a business park, retail and service businesses, and a residential neighborhood. The proposed structure would be 90 feet in height with 2 LED display panels measuring 20 feet by 60 feet each. The panels are mounted in a V-shaped configuration on a single support column, allowing the billboard to be visible to both northbound and southbound traffic on the 405 freeway. One correction to note on the plans, the site plan here shows an existing pole sign to remain. However, the city is in the process of reviewing permits from the future tenant of the site, which we've referred to as IANA, an electric vehicle charging station facility. That tenant has indicated a desire to remove the existing pole sign and build a new pole sign closer to the driveway. That review is currently happening under separate administrative permits. This exhibit was provided to the Planning Commission as attachment 8 to the staff report. The property is zoned CU1 local business and designated regional commercial in the general plan. This exhibit illustrates several existing billboards and freeway-oriented signs near the proposed billboard. This includes a mixture of existing billboards with static or digital displays. And here's a detail from attachment 3 to the staff report. It shows the proposed elevation and design of the billboard. The support column will be finished in a clean white surface with a gray accent cap, and the city's logo will be displayed on both sides of the billboard. The two digital sign faces are framed in black and arranged in a V shape to be visible to freeway traffic. At the base, new landscaping, which would be installed by the future tenant IANA, will help soften the appearance of the structure at ground level. The project complies with all requirements of the billboard ordinance. It is located on a commercial parcel adjacent to the 405 freeway, and it's more than 200 feet from the nearest residential structure. The applicant proposes to construct the billboard at the maximum height and dimensions allowed by the zoning code. Specifically, the zoning code allows billboards to be 90 feet in height and up to 1,200 square feet in area per sign face. The applicant is requesting to construct their billboard at the maximum allowances. The support column will include an architectural treatment, utilities will be underground, and setbacks and clearances have been satisfied. Additionally, conditions of approval are included requiring the billboard to operate in compliance with the operational standards within the zoning code, which include provisions for ongoing maintenance and prohibiting the use of any flashing or animated signs. The billboard ordinance allows a maximum height of 90 feet if the applicant demonstrates that the height is necessary and appropriate. So as required by the zoning code, the applicant submitted photo simulations comparing their proposed 90-foot height with a 80-foot design. Staff reviewed these materials in existing site conditions, which have been provided as attachments to the staff report. For example, there are a number of different existing structures near the proposed billboard structure that could obstruct the visibility, such as the freeway overpass, the existing palm trees, and the Motel 6 pole sign. So based on this review, staff determined that the 90-foot height is reasonable and justified to provide clear visibility from the freeway. Project renderings also show that the sign would not introduce significant adverse aesthetic impacts along this segment of the corridor. To further justify the proposed 90-foot height, the applicant prepared a line-of-sight analysis, which was provided as attachment 7, and they submitted renderings from 8 different vantage points. This shows what the billboard would look like from 8 different residential and commercial locations nearby. The nearest residential structure is located more than 400 feet away, providing substantial separation from sensitive uses. And as a reminder, the billboard ordinance requires billboards to be 200 feet away from residential uses. So the next slide will illustrate what the project looks like from this residential neighborhood on Mahogany. So this residential neighborhood is located across the freeway approximately 750 feet away from the proposed billboard. Based on the materials provided by the applicant, staff determined that adding this sign does not result in an overconcentration, and overall the project is compatible with its surroundings. The proposed billboard will operate with static images only, displayed for a minimum of 4 seconds, and will include automatic brightness controls. This applicant's sign manufacturer prepared a lighting study, and to provide an independent review, the city retained a lighting consultant to peer review the study. The city's consultant confirmed the billboard would meet the brightness thresholds established by the city, Caltrans, and the California Vehicle Code. So this here is the specific lighting standard that was adopted in the billboard ordinance. So using a conservative approach, we would look at this row over here just to kind of break down some of the technical information that's provided within the lighting study. And essentially what we are looking for is what the illumination level would be in foot candles, and you can see as measured from 400 feet, or a distance of 400 feet away from the proposed billboard, it would be well below the 0.3 foot candle threshold. So it is well under the maximum thresholds established by the billboard ordinance. Really where there is a lighting impact and where it would exceed that 0.3 foot candle measurement is within 100 feet of the proposed billboard. The city's lighting consultant also found the sign's orientation and use of light sensors would minimize visibility from nearby residential areas and reduce glare for motorists. Although the project does comply with city and state lighting standards, the consultant recommended adding additional operating restrictions, such as gradually dimming the billboard over a longer period of time rather than just drastically changing the brightness level. They also recommended the use of a machine to track clouds and fog, which is described in measure number 7, which was an optional measure recommended by the consultant, but staff has incorporated this as well as all of these measures into the conditions of approval. In accordance with the municipal code, notices of tonight's public hearing were mailed to all property owners and occupants within 500 feet of the site. In addition, the city voluntarily expanded the mailing area to 750 feet, which resulted in approximately 40 additional notices being sent to nearby residents. Notices were also posted on the project site, at city facilities, and on the city's website. One public comment was received today regarding the project, and copies of that were provided on the commissioner dais as well as to the public. Staff received another comment regarding the agenda packet, which has been incorporated as a late communication item. So this, the late communication item was posted on the website. Copies were provided to the commissioners and the dais. Just wanted to briefly go over them here. But specifically, this recommends adding a clause to condition of approval number 7 to clarify that the operating agreement is subject to city council approval. And there was a minor revision made to the staff report to ensure it matches the condition. So the following map was prepared to assist the Planning Commission in understanding the distribution of billboards in the city. The blue dots show the pending billboards in the city, which are in various stages of review, permitting, and construction. The yellow dots show all of the existing constructed billboards, which can either have static or digital displays. So this map only shows billboards with off-site advertising. So once again, on-premise signage, such as pole signs advertising a business on the same property, it's not shown on this map because it's a different category of signage. The proposed billboard, hard to see, but it's circled in green. The project was evaluated for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, and the billboard qualifies for a Class 3 categorical exemption for new construction of small structures, as well as a Class 11 categorical exemption for accessory structures. So in conclusion, the proposed billboard complies with all location, development, and design standards of the zoning code. A condition of approval will require the project to comply with the ongoing operational and maintenance standards of the zoning code. The applicant has provided visual exhibits and written documentation to demonstrate that the proposed billboard height is justified. The project is compatible with its commercial freeway setting, and it will not create adverse or lighting impacts to surrounding uses. Therefore, staff recommends the Planning Commission approve the project through the adoption of the attached resolution with the conditions of approval. This concludes staff's presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to open the public hearing. Do we have any speakers? We'll do that later on, after.
You guys have any questions?
I think we should let the public first, then we can discuss everything else with the staff.
Okay, so we do have the applicant, Andrew Fielder, coming up first.
Let me hear everything first.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Hello.
My name is Andrew Fielder. Our company, Back Bay Investment Group, develops retail and residential real estate throughout Orange County. I appreciate the opportunity to present our request for a conditional use permit for a 90-foot, 20 by 60-foot electronic billboard at 6260 Westminster Boulevard, a project we call Westminster Gateway. Our vision is to create a forward-looking, high-visibility gateway feature for the city of Westminster along one of California's busiest freeways. Until 2019, this very property featured a 40-foot City of Westminster pylon sign that served as a landmark for both visitors and residents. Our proposal builds on that history. The new digital billboard will prominently display the city's name and emblem and provide a complementary advertising time for public service announcements, functioning both as a civic landmark and a modern communication tool for Westminster residents. In addition, we are redeveloping the remainder of the site into a first-of-its-kind EV charging facility operated and backed by 8 of the world's largest automakers. Together, these projects will place Westminster at the cutting edge of digital signage, retail, and mobility trends while aligning directly with both state and local sustainability objectives. Additionally, I'd like to address a few anticipated questions. First, the requested 90-foot height. The 90-foot height request is driven by practical constraints. It ensures visibility over Westminster Boulevard and Springdale Street overpasses to the north, as well as clearing existing on-site and Motel 6 signage to the south. Without this clearance, the sign would be obscured and ineffective as a freeway-facing digital billboard. Second, potential impacts on nearby residential areas. The site is uniquely situated for a digital billboard. Within approximately 500 feet, the property is surrounded entirely by commercial uses. Beyond that, multiple obstructions, including freeway sound walls and adjacent buildings, partially or fully block visibility altogether. In short, the billboard will be viewed by commuters on the freeway, not by residents in their backyards. Finally, community benefits. The project allocates 2 4-week periods each year for the city to broadcast public service announcements free of charge. It also provides a 10% discount for local businesses advertising and will generate in excess of $10 million in long-term revenue for the city, all while redeveloping a parcel that is currently underutilized. In conclusion, this request is not about adding an unsightly development to the city skyline. It is about delivering a carefully designed, well-regulated, and economically beneficial development that establishes a gateway into Westminster. The 90-foot height is necessary for visibility, the site characteristics ensure minimal community impact, and the fiscal and civic benefits directly advance the city's goals. For those reasons, we respectfully request your approval of the conditional use permit for the Westminster Gateway digital billboard.
Thank you very much. Do you have any question for him, Casey? No?
We have,
Any more speakers?
yes. Now we have Andy Goodman. He's with the applicant. He's a consultant.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Chair, Commissioner, and City staff. Much appreciate the opportunity to present this evening. We have been here before as the Planning Commission put together this sign ordinance, passing it forward to the City Council. We began this application process 2 years ago in September of 2023, and it's taken a significant collaborative effort to bring it to this point. I remember sitting here with the Planning Commissioners, the 2 of you, and a couple of other planning commissioners, and we made a commitment that we were going to sit here through the night, however long it took, for us to come up with all the deal points, with all the conditions that you wanted, all the challenges and pieces of information that you wanted in the sign code. And here we are today being able to present the first billboard, digital billboard project to the city. Throughout this journey, we've Appreciated the Planning Commission's commitment, along with city staff, in developing a comprehensive sign code, which was adopted by the Planning Commissioners on September 18th of 2024, that infamous meeting, and subsequently approved by the City Council on March 26th of 2025. I remember sitting in on 2 of those council meetings as it went along, and there was actually a third one in March of 25 that finally got the sign code passed and moving forward. This updated sign code outlines detailed conditions of approval, specific findings, and clearly defines the parameters for the development of the new digital billboard. Over the past months, Age Advertising, which is my company, 6260 Westminster LLC, which is the applicant here, and the city staff have worked diligently together to ensure that every one of these conditions, findings, and parameters have been addressed and satisfied. As a result of our compliance with the city sign ordinance, the Planning Commission resolution, and the updated sign code, staff has recommended approval of our conditional use permit. Moreover, the project also supports one of the city's key strategic goals from January 2022 of the planning workshop, which is to help the city, as in quotes, achieve fiscal financial stability. I imagine that that's when the whole digital billboard and billboard project came to fruition, where it got talked about. And as we know, billboards and digital billboards are most appropriate out on the freeway. And here's an opportunity to be able to start that trend and also, create benefits for the city as we move forward. As a result of our compliance, it has been supported by staff. Below is a summary of how our proposal meets the required findings. Zoning compatibility. The site is zoned C1 and is designated regional commercial in the general plan. The appropriate land use. The proposed digital billboard is consistent with the adjacent uses, including the In-N-Out Burger, the Motel 6, the gas station, and the Carvana. So everything surrounding the property, including the freeway, is commercial. And this property also is in compliance with being able to build a billboard, digital billboards in the area. The residential buffer, the nearest residential use is more than 450 feet away, well beyond the 200 feet that was requested by the Planning Commission and then the City Council to be added to the sign code. The development standards, the proposed structure complies with all dimensional standards, being the 20 by 60 sign that we're asking for, double-faced V structure, with a total height of 90 feet. And then the height justification of 90 feet is appropriate given the surrounding elements as the Westminster overpass, the existing palm trees, and the nearby signage, such as the Motel 6 sign, play through the sign at any lower height. In a few minutes, as you ask some questions, I'll be able to explain flagging to you, how we go ahead and determine the height of the sign and why we have asked for 90 feet overall, so we can talk a little bit more detail about flagging and the 3 times that we were out there that we had to do it over and over and over again to get it right so that we could present to you this evening the right images, the right mock-ups, the right renderings. The light study, as Stephanie explained, from the peer review is very good, and we are in agreement to move forward with those conditions. As clearly stated in the Planning Commission staff report, our request for a conditional use permit meets all the requirements outlined in the city's billboard ordinance, including standards related to location, height, size, development, signs, and operations. We respectfully request your approval this evening, and thank you for your time and your consideration, and we're available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
We have 2 more public speakers. We have Antoine Lee, followed by Terry Raines.
Okay.
Good evening. I'm here happy to speak in support of my friend Drew Fielder's permit application. I speak as a neighbor as well as an engineer, just spending 10 years in Honolulu on the Skyline project, and my background is in major infrastructure projects, and determined to now commit my time to Westminster to help transform it, build housing. So that's where I'm coming from. My name's Antoine Lay, residing at Chinook Avenue in Westminster, just a short walk to the former Cafe Westminster where Drew is proposing to build a new digital billboard. Drew called it the Westminster Gateway. Most appropriately, its design will become the welcoming portal for our town. Drew has seized upon this Westminster Boulevard location at Springdale 405 ramps for an electric vehicle charging station. Lots of traffic, lots of eyeballs, great potential for a billboard to build brand awareness. There are 4 gas stations, 1 gas station in each quadrant, a quartet of gas stations. I know of no other junction in the entire OC where there are 4 gas stations. I don't know if you've observed that. Lots of cars, lots of Teslas, lots of Rivians and Ioniqs that go by my street. Drew's got the backing of a consortium of 8 of the largest automakers, so you see the trend. Amid this quartet of gasoline stations, Drew's vision, an electric vehicle charging station coupled with a digital billboard, put him clearly ahead of the fossil fuel, or I call it fossilized competition, pun intended. Drew bringing that vision to Westminster is a milestone which I feel honors our town and merits a support. And thank you, Drew, for that. Drew spoke of the benefits, 10 million of revenues into city coffers, dedicated time for PSAs, and the preferential 10% discount for local business. I'd additionally point out that Drew's digital billboards game-changing cutting-edge technology will surely stimulate competition in business advertising, enabling strategies that can give local business a distinct advantage. An eye-catching billboard complemented by geofenced targeted mobile ads can reliably deliver conversions, like announcing a flash sale at a local retailer, or limited time offer at an auto showroom, or pulling commuters into a pampered nail salon or wellness spa appointment, or customizing a personal invite to one of Little Saigon's many fine bistros. Use your imagination. With data-driven insights delivered in real time, the bottom line means, is my time up?
Yes, it is.
It's up, my 3 minutes?
Time's up, yes.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Our last speaker, Terry Raines.
Hello, Commissioners. You all better have read the entire staff report and attachments and be prepared to discuss the details today. That's literally your job. I sent an email on Saturday. The staff report stated there's a condition in the CUP requiring City Council approval of an operating agreement, but the condition only said in a form approved by the City Attorney, the CUP must state the operating agreement must be approved by a majority vote of the City Council. Principal Planner Fickelman finally responded today saying we have incorporated your suggestion to provide clarity. I wasn't seeking clarity, I was seeking accuracy. I also suggested staff provide an estimate of the financial and other benefits the city is expecting from the operating agreement. No response on that. Yes, your scope is only to consider land use in the CUP, but you deserve to know how this project will benefit our city. WMC section 17330.090D states electronic billboards shall only be permitted when the city has entered into an operating agreement or development agreement with an electronic billboard owner that will, 1, generate revenue, 2, provide access to the city for the city to present messages of community interest, information, and public safety. 3, provide access to other agencies to display Amber Alerts and emergency disaster alerts. And 4, establish quality and maintenance standards. The property is now vacant and undeveloped. The city is currently processing applications to redevelop the site with an electric vehicle charging station, including an amenity building and outdoor area for customers. But the billboard is not just an incidental use to the proposed facility, as it states. It's a separate project and business. One rendering view I didn't see is from the backyards of the homes on Wynn and Mahogany. This sign would include automatic dimming technology to adjust the day and nighttime conditions, and its light output would fall within nationally recognized standards for digital billboards. Light spilled to nearby residential areas would be minimal and not really readily perceptible compared to existing streetlights and other lighting in the area. Watchfire, the applicant's lighting study provider, and the city's retained consultant lighting design alliance both concur. CEQA guidelines section 15303, new construction or conversion of small structures, generally does not apply to electronic billboards. It's for small, limited structures like single-family homes, small commercial buildings under 2,500 square feet, or small accessory structures such as garages, carports, patios, swimming pools, and fences. Electronic billboards are larger structures and involve significant visual changes and potential environmental impacts. This citation is sourced to specific case law. The agency must make a specific two-part finding. One, that there are no unusual circumstances associated with the billboard's specific location, and two, that even if there were, there is no reasonable possibility that the project would cause a significant environmental impact. Electronic billboards have bright illumination and changing images, making a finding of no reasonable possibility difficult to assert. Section 2 of your resolution does not include a no reasonable possibility finding. Still, I thank the applicant for their comprehensive study and design based on the facts and circumstances presented. I urge the commission to approve this project with the 90-foot height. The applicant adequately demonstrated their need. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
Chair, we have no further speakers.
Okay. We're gonna close the public hearing. Okay. Okay. I'll ask you. Yeah, we can open the, I'm gonna reopen the public hearing. Come on in. State your name and your address, and then tell us exactly what you want to say.
My name is Cassandra Spencer, and I live at 1412 Wynn Street. I have the Westminster dealership billboard right in the backyard. My late grandpa grew up and lived there. I often spent summers there with him and lived in that house as a kid. I moved back to this house to live here now. If you go in the lovely backyard of our home, you will hear the freeway, but you will also see the huge electric billboard they decided to put up about 7 to 9 years ago. My grandpa was very upset about this when it happened. Who would be happy about an already not so pleasant view being made worse? No kid should grow up with a huge electric billboard in their backyard. I have a special love for the city, and I will not support the construction or implementation of these kinds of things. If you want to put up more advertisements, put one in your backyard and then get back to me. Westminster is already not the best looking, so why are we adding more eyesores? Why not add parks or new landscaping? It's wrong to continue to add unnecessary so-called advertisements instead of fixing or even taking care of what our city already has. If taking care of what our city already has, my grandpa was still here, he would do everything in his power to stop this from happening. So here I am reminding you that the real people with real lives and homes that they've owned before any of this kind of stuff was built are here trying to protect our city and push for the betterment of it, not the continuation of urbanization. I strongly believe that these sort of projects don't even see a high amount of traction coming from whatever advertisement being projected Westminster. Westminster has the possibility to be a charming city, but only if we focus on our money and attention on the people who live here. I don't want to be known as the advertisement city, Westminster, build your business on our land. I hope we can focus on the work that could be done to better what we have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Casey, you have any questions for the speakers? Who you want to talk to?
Generally, you'd give the applicant time to rebut if there was anybody that was opposed to the
Nobody
billboard,
here.
but I'm good.
You don't want to ask
Andy
questions?
Goodman again?
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, sure.
You don't ask no
I don't have any questions for the applicant, but I have some for the city.
after we close. We discuss everything. We heard everything. You want to ask any questions for them?
I would just confirm with the city attorney.
Chairman, Commissioners, under the rules you read, you provided that the applicant gets time to rebut any comments. So before you close the public hearing, they should be given an opportunity to respond.
He will right now. After she spoke, that lady, he will come back and speak. Yes, he will. But I'm checking with KC if he wants to ask any of the speakers before any questions.
If we close the public hearing, are we still allowed to ask city questions? Because we didn't get an opportunity yet.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, applicant, you want to speak in rebuttal?
For a moment, yeah. Andy Goodman again. Thank you very much. In regards to the lighting studies, we can address that in more detail as we move forward as you ask your questions. The billboards are set up to be 0.3 foot candles above ambient light. We go through a whole test process once the billboard is constructed. There will be an independent lighting engineer that comes in and does the additional studies to make sure that we are compliant. In regards to the photos that we took and the flaggings, we can talk a little bit more in detail about that. Some properties were easier to take pictures from the front of the property because it was street. We didn't take the opportunity to knock on somebody's door and ask them to go into their backyard to be able to take a picture, but I think we fulfilled the requirements of being more than 200 feet away from residential property. 450 feet is double that, and we supplied 500 foot and 750 foot photos of that. Of the property that you live at, we would love to know where she's located in terms of the billboard location. Is she representing that her property happens to be in visual line of where the billboard is going to be, and can we mitigate it in any other way to be a good neighbor? Because we want to come to town and we want to be a good neighbor. Part of creating these types of signs is that we want to participate in the city. We want to be a partner. We don't want to do the things that are going to create animosity. So we're here to answer questions. We'll work with you. We'll meet with you afterwards if you'd like to talk about it. And we'll go from there. Andrew? No? Very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any questions? No questions? Okay, we're gonna close the public hearing. No. Now you could say a question, anything you want for staff.
A couple questions for city staff. There is an existing pole sign on site that said for lease in your photos. Number one, what's the proximity to the proposed billboard? How far away is it within that, in that parcel?
Commissioner Wolbert, thank you for the question. So one thing I do need to clarify within the plans, that existing pole sign will not remain in place. So it's actually the future tenant. They are proposing, it has not been permitted or submitted yet, but they verbally have indicated a desire to remove the existing pole sign and to relocate that closer to the driveway. So if you can visualize, this is the driveway that provides shared access to both that site as well as In and Out. I believe that's where you probably enter from In and Out. Maybe it's the other one. But it would be very close to that driveway entrance. And I can, if you would give me a moment, I can do a quick measurement to see where that would be. But it would essentially be on the opposite side of the parcel. So.
Right. I guess my concern would be if we give them and grant a CUP tonight or approval for the billboard, the existing structure is going to be in the way, so it's going to have to be taken down. That's my question. In other words, cart and horse kind of thing, like who's responsible for moving the existing on-premise pole site prior to erecting a digital billboard? Because the billboard's going to go up because we don't have a guaranteed tenant in that space. And you were saying we're going to leave it to the future tenant to go ahead and move the existing pole sign. I want to know if there's a conflict.
And if they're going to remove the pole sign, will it be the same height in a different location also?
If I may, Commissioners. That would honestly be a private property dispute. Since the property has the same owner, it would be in their best interest to work out something that's beneficial to both parties. That's, there's economic factors involved in that as well. If the pole sign were to remain in place, that is fine with the city. We have been, as Stephanie said, given notice that they are moving it. But at this time, that is irrelevant to the proceedings for the CUP because they are two independent signs. And it would be up to the owner of the property to deal with any dispute between those two.
Am I allowed to make it a condition of the permit?
And if I may add, Commissioner Wolbert, we are actively reviewing plans for the electric vehicle charging station. They are currently in active plan check review. So that is a very good comment. I don't know off the top of my head if that's included within the scope of demolishing it, but they have been an excellent partner with the city, and that is certainly a comment that we can pass along. I am confident that they would be very amenable to including that within their scope.
Well, right, so we don't have a guarantee that it's gonna be in their scope, but we have a conditional use permit in front of us now that we can guarantee it's in the scope. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, why are we kicking the can down the line to a new tenant when this billboard's potentially gonna go in? Why wouldn't we have it a condition to remove that old marquee that is designating a non-existing building at this point? That's what I'm asking. Like, what's the proximity? Is it 10 feet away? Is it 100 feet away? Is it 4 feet away? It doesn't make sense to keep that sign up that could potentially slow down a construction project.
Maybe the applicant could offer something.
But even if they move it,
It could if
Toward
we had an
in and
open
out.
public hearing.
The applicant can address questions from the commission.
And Commissioner Wilbert, I'm sorry, I just zoomed in. It's very difficult to read on my screen, but the existing pole sign is 25.5 feet away from the proposed billboard. So it is close by, but it certainly, the billboard can be constructed alongside the existing pole sign.
Okay. And you had mentioned something, I believe, in your presentation about time per viewing, or the length and duration of, for lack of a better term, a slide, every time an advertisement comes up. And what did you say that condition was?
The minimum amount of display is 4 seconds.
Okay. And do we have anything in the resolution determining minimum, maximum displays? What are the state regulations as far as how fast those images can change?
There's no maximum that's established, just the minimum 4-second display.
And that's Caltrans code?
Yes, it was codified within the billboard ordinance, so that is both consistent with the city's law as well as state law.
Yes, please. So the standard, the Caltrans state standard is a 4-second refresh rate based upon going from ad to ad. The standard in the billboard industry is 8 seconds. So we will operate this billboard on an 8-second loop, 64 seconds, 8 advertisers, 8-second loop. So every 8 seconds, you'll see a new advertiser on the sign. So it operates at 8 seconds, not 4. Yeah.
quick question for you. As you stated that you will be removing that pole to different location. Are you or not?
We are not responsible for removing the current sign that's on the property. I think that the property owner.
Okay.
Yeah, I can speak to that. So we have a lease with the tenant who has an application in. As part of that lease, we have given them an opportunity to reuse the existing sign, so it's part of our lease obligation already. They don't have to, but they can if they want to.
But if you're gonna move it toward in and out, will it be the same height or will it be shorter?
I don't know, because I'm not involved in that application in detail. I'm sure that Stephanie will be able to speak on what the maximum height for that area is.
Okay. Thanks.
Chair Hamadi, at this time, they have not put forth an application for a new pole sign, so it would be premature for us to answer that. Any new pole sign, if they did relocate, would have to meet current city code.
Okay. Any more questions?
I just have a concern with the sign. Is it I'm not sure I missed it, but is it a flashing animation allow for this sign?
No, that would not be allowed. So the minimum refresh rate is 4 seconds, so meaning that it can't quickly change every second, so that, it creates somewhat of a flashing effect. So there is a minimum refresh rate of 4 seconds. The applicant has indicated that they intend to change the message every 8 seconds, so it's going to be on display a bit longer.
And to be clear, the display images are static images. So think of it as like a slideshow. Every 4 seconds, they're changing a slide. The images on each slide are not animated.
Okay, yeah, because the flashing would be very disturbing for the neighbors and such.
Do you have any condition?
Ask the chair.
May I?
Please.
Please, thank you. So with the 8-second duration of the ad, there is no flashing, there is no changing, there is no motion within the sign. Caltrans regulates off-premise signs and says that there can be no image moving faster than 4 seconds. It's not like a on-premise sign that you see at a car dealer where there's constant motion of the balloons going up or the car moving down the street or the image of the mascot. So yes, these are static signs that change every 8 seconds.
Okay, any more questions? You have more questions?
Yes.
Go for it.
The applicant and the landowner, is that the same entity as has been indicated?
The applicant on file is AGE Advertising LLC,
Okay.
and the property owner is a different entity.
But property owner's here tonight, correct?
The property owner is here.
Okay. I'd like to ask a question of the property owner. Are you willing to take down the existing sign, the pole sign that's up for your potential new client before this billboard is erected? One of the spirit of the billboard ordinance is to reduce blight in the city. Those are some things that we discussed last year. And it seems like if you put a sign next to a sign, now we're just getting a lot of blight. And there's no guarantees that that sign's going to be relocated, according to what has been discussed about this potential lease agreement.
Yeah, as it relates to the other tenant, we are contractually obligated to offer them that sign, and however they put that sign in use or don't put it in use has to be consistent with planning. So it's not something really I can commit to because I'd be breaking a contractual obligation, but it's certainly something that I believe the staff could address with them, but I wouldn't unfortunately be able to make that commitment here.
So staff, is that something in the future you're going to make it a potential use permit issue where they need to relocate the sign farther away from the digital billboard? Because it sounds like we're potentially kicking a can down the road. We're going to have a lot of blight in this area, but there's not a solid resolution to this. The property owner is under contract or potential contract to keep that sign up, but it sounds like he's saying that staff now has the control of whether that sign stays in place or gets moved.
So as far as requiring the pole sign to be relocated, the tenant, Ayana, has indicated a desire to relocate it anyway. So that is what they have explained to us, although formal application for that has yet to be submitted. So there's a separate master sign program that they are going to be submitting. I do anticipate that the plan that they've communicated to us will be what is presented to the city. But if something were to change, they do, per the zoning code and the sign code, would be allowed to keep the existing pole sign. They can't have both. They can only have one. Sign code allows for one pole sign on the property.
Okay. One other thing that was also not necessarily mentioned, but still something to consider would be power consumption. Has the city talked to SoCal Edison to see if this is, do we have proper utilities to be able to feed service into this?
So Edison has no worries about power along that corridor. That's one of the reasons they're allowing for multiple possible EV charging stations to go through there. Those EV charging stations will use far more power than a billboard. Where as big as that is LED lighting, so it is more efficient. Where the fast DC chargers that would be put in for, there's a proposed supercharger site through there, the proposed Iona. Edison has been presented with those and had no qualms about allowing them. Those will use far more power than the proposed billboard would.
But we don't have anything official from Edison.
No, the city doesn't deal directly with Edison in those ways. It's up to the individual tenants to get approval from Edison.
Done? Any questions? Okay. Okay, we're gonna close the public hearing. I'm gonna make a motion to move approval. Any second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
We have a motion made by Chair Hamadi, seconded by Commissioner Wilbur, to approve case 2024-0005 and adopt a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Westminster, California, approving case number 2024-005 for a conditional use permit to construct a 90-foot tall digital billboard sign with two 20 by 60 LED display panels located adjacent to the 405 freeway at 6260 Westminster Boulevard, APN 195-262-09 in the C1 zoning district." I'll take roll. Commissioner Wilbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Tran,
Yes.
Chair Hamadi.
Yes,
Motion carried 3-0.
thank you.
The commission's action on this item shall become effective 15 days after the decision date identified in the notice of decision. The applicant and/or any other interested party may file an appeal of the commission's action to the city council. The appeal must be in writing and filed with the city clerk within the previously mentioned 15-day period.
Okay, go to number 9. We have none. No regular business. Selection of Planning Commission Vice Chair. Just wait for Ken to come back. Do you want to speak to that lady outside?
I do. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. Chair, this is the opportunity for you to take nominations for vice chair, if
I
the
want to
commission
discuss it
so
with
wishes.
with the commissions here because we have 2 seats empty. Will they accept to go ahead with it? So
You can certainly, the commission certainly has the ability to delay this another time if you don't feel comfortable with it at this
it
point.
is up to them. Delay it. Okay, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna delay the
Okay. Do you need a motion?
selection.
We'll put it on the next agenda for you.
Please do. Reports, we have none. Matters from staff? Wait if we can. Come back.
Just the announcement of the unscheduled vacancy.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we should wait for Ken?
I'm sorry?
We should wait for Ken to come back?
No, I don't think
No?
so.
No
Yeah,
need
I
for
think
it?
we move forward. yeah.
Okay. Okay, matter from the planning commission, including the AB 1, 2, 3, 4 reports when required. Anything? Go ahead.
I have a couple things. First, I'd just like to say, thank you, staff, great presentation, and to the applicants who've already vacated. I just wanted to thank them for putting in the time and the efforts. They really took the billboard ordinance that was created last year and did a great job with it, meeting those requirements that the city already had in place. There were no issues, as far as I could see, with their compatibility in the ordinance, and I really want to compliment them on their design. I know it's not part of the ordinance, but one of the things that I had mentioned when we went through that discussion was the minimalist type of structure. So this is not a giant monolith type of billboard. The renderings look fantastic, and I think it's really going to add to the quality of the city and what we're, trying to improve the city in the looks of. Also, I would like to just make one quick statement to the young lady that spoke on this agenda item who has since left the building. I hope you watch this on YouTube. I wanted to say great presentation to her and thank her for her time coming to these meetings. I know as a young person, we don't generally encourage public speaking, and she did a fantastic job for bringing that, and I hope and encourage her to continue in her efforts to voice her opinion to the city. Not that she will be Terry Raines in the future, but at some point, we hope that she gets involved in city politics because we need young people like her voicing her opinion. Into her speech that she mentioned about putting billboards in backyards, I think a lot of the city residents would agree with that. And I would just caution them to keep up to date on their state code and state law. Let me tell you, a billboard 500 feet away from your backyard is not as intrusive as 2 ADUs being built on a pool next door. So ADU laws are a problem, and the new laws that are coming down from the state where R1 zone properties are going to be allowed to build 7-story apartment complexes on them is shocking and abhorrent, to say the least. So, young lady, thank you for speaking tonight to bring up these points, and we encourage you to continue to come back and voice your opinions to the city. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else? Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.